Let me actually reload the game. But we are playing the demo for Traveling at Night. It's a CRPG. It's got similar text to the side style as like Disco Elysium and some other RPGs. Why isn't this working? Game recording. Please hold while I. There we go. It was hidden. Let me bring me back up. The Chandler's witness brought a candle 77 years old. Every month the Chandler had bought the old stumps, returned their matter to the vat, and used them in his wares, so that each newest candle was also the oldest. Perhaps there's always a way. The Chandler's Tale. Here we go. So the art for this, in the Weather Factory, in general, they did Cultist Simulator. Let me turn this down just a touch. They did Cultist Simulator, Book of Hours, primarily. But they worked with some other people on this. I might have to move me. Let's see. Oops. Well, that could be figured out another time. So who are you, Hollow Man? November 1948, at least as far as anyone can tell anymore. "12 years ago in Krakow, the worms hollowed me out. The next 3 years, they steered me all around Europe, at least until I got away to the place where there was a kind of help. The worms are gone now, but I've only begun to fill up the spaces they left. I was back with the Bureau again when the worms took me, but I still think of myself, above all, as an exorcist. Spencer has had many careers, but there's one where he felt he belonged. Through the years of hollowing in the dark, all his skills decayed, but the ones from that career decayed the slowest. A writer, a conjurer, a physician, and an exorcist? Who are you, Hollow Man? Conjurer? A writer? Conjurer? Do I want to play with passion? Ooh, anger. Sorrow or honor? What I saw as an exorcist assistant and then the priest of an unusual parish led me to question my faith. And I left the church shortly afterwards. From 1919 to 1921, Spencer was a priest of the Church Solar. Ordination marks the Faust, the luminous element of the soul, permanently. We can still technically perform the sacraments, although this might be breaking church law. Interesting. So we're going with the career of an exorcist. And then we choose a passion. Forceful, aggressive, or spiteful choices embody anger, but Spencer isn't a violent man. Choices which acknowledge regret are sorrowful, so usually is a choice to remain silent. Honorable choices involve self-discipline, honesty, or just courtesy. Let's do that one. Sorrow. Let's do winter and moth. Oh no, there's a fly in here. Okay. Hushery. We have 20 points to assign. We have our 1 in Hushery, 1 in Horomachistry, and 1 in Illumination. Aesthetics, Necromancy, Silence. A night art used at the shadowed or quiet places. Night arts are those invisible arts considered more shadowy, sinister, or unwise. Night arts aren't worldly skills. They can have impressively eerie effects, but they usually need some preparation. There's also Scollecosphy. The study of things that should not be studied. Worms, earthquakes, subreal interventions. One of the night arts. Failing these checks will add dread. We have eloquence, a worldly skill. I'm good with words. This can be useful if I want to explain to someone why they might need help, or at least ensure they'll enjoy listening. Okay. Let's put 6 in that. A bright art. Bright arts are those invisible arts that overlap most closely with the secret doctrine of the church. Alchemies, meditations, at least strongly prescribed summonings. Unworldly skills. We'll add 1 to there. I can't add anything in these other ones that are not highlighted. Let's do 1 more dignity. Failing Horomachistry checks will add fascination. Ooh, do I want that? So what I think I'm gonna do here, we got 3 moth, 3 winter, 2 knock. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah. When I came back to Europe after the war, my heart told me I should seek out Nina Lagasse, actress, artist, witch. She'll know where I can find things that I need to fill my emptiness again. Nina is notoriously elusive, but I followed her trail from Alexandria, where they brought me back to Antibes, where I now arrive. Antibes. I don't know how to read. So the sign here is a unusual right condition, wound, or nature that adds pips to your aspect pool, and perhaps has other effects. You begin with 1 sign, hollowed out as you are. You have room for more. It is useful to have a passion whose aspects match as a sign, that acting with the passion will refresh the sign pips as well. A heart condition. I picked it up at the stag door while I was away. My heart is like a window banging in the storm, restless, undedicated, unconfinable. Scapin sickness. Scapine sickness. let us begin the game. I'm just looking at all the art. I'm loving it. It's very much what I enjoy. Ooh. Here we are. Move around, click on the door on the ground. The night between cities. The station hall is almost deserted. Not so many visitors to the Riviera these times. I came for a reason. I won't leave yet. I came for a reason. I can't leave yet. Okay, so that's where I came out from. The map becomes relevant once Spencer is ready to leave. Travel from a station to any adjoining city. If you have any relevant travel documents, be careful. Repeatedly traversing the same route will inflict traces. Trace, a betraying clue. As traces accumulate, as my name gets around, I'm more likely to be recognized. Sometimes this might be good, but I won't count on it being good. You can gain traces from truthfully sharing information, interacting with the authorities, or simply staying in one place for too long. Sleeping in the same place for one night is safe. Every night after that adds a trace. Traveling to a new city removes traces as long as you don't keep traveling the same route. They also serve. Headlights burn. Engine rumbles. Don't draw attention. Keep my eyes on the ground. In the French state, it's best to avoid the attention of men who keep watch at stations. What is this? Horizon, the poster reads, and below, in words of several languages, sun, sea, night, line, morning. There's something more here, but it says I'm not ready for crafting. Long, rattling road. Until Antipolis. On Antipolis. Through mountain and forest and choking smoke, but here I am at last. I could use a cigarette. I gave up tobacco back in the 30s. My passengers hated smoke. Something you wouldn't expect from worm infestation. Better skin, better teeth. But there's something about getting off a train in the rain that makes me miss that little rite. Moment of fire between cupped hands. Welcome to traveling at night. That tiny choice will have a tiny consequence later. In a moment, another tiny choice. Before the war came to the world. The next choice acts with a passion. Choose a passion you possess to refresh pips in your aspect pool. Choose a new one to start in the path to acquiring it. You have up to 3 passions. So a passion is a driving quality that helps you decide your goals. You start with 1, you can develop another 2. Increase your passions with experiences. And they will add... Let me just turn this up a tiny bit. When you act with a passion, it'll refresh a pip of every relevant aspect in your pool. To put it simply, increasing your passions and acting with them helps you pass checks on skills which match that passion. But people change. That's called character development, trauma, disillusionment, experience. So if your actions recently have drifted another way, you can spend your experiences to evolve a passion to another when you level it up. Through your science and passions, you'll express the fundamental principles underlying all things, which practical terms means that you can spend pips from your pool to force a success on a skill test that you fail. You can only do this with skills that match the aspect points you're using. Okay. Oh boy, okay, so this... But really, just pick the option that suits you. The game works best when you do that. Okay, so experiences can be used to improve existing skills or learn new ones. You'll need experiences that match at least one aspect on the relevant skill. Hold. An early lesson still haunts me. Gained 1 winter experience. Okay. Aspect pool. Through your signs and passions. Hold on. Through your signs and passions, you express fundamental principles underlying all things. There's always a way forward. If I run out of pips, I'll find something else. And 1 knock experience. Okay. This was the sweet blue eye of Riviera. Yachts and parties and film star villas. Picasso painted his periots here by the sea. Sorrow. Possessed. Long, lazy, angled days in the sun, but now the sun is bloodied. Honor. Potential. But now the sun is bloodied. Sun is a cutthroat, the knight recites. We usually won't tell you explicitly which choices act with which passions. We let you roleplay or guess. The wars and their plagues took the glitter off those golden evenings, left the air dense and villainous. But I have to find Nina Legacy. Her trail has brought me here. Journal Heart's Desire. I've followed Nina to the city of Avanti. The southern half of divided France. Actress, artist, witch. Every adept on the continent knows her name. From the moment I woke in Alexandria, my heart clamored for me to find her. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's like choices and choices and choices. Let's see. Chilly's soul, but she has no reputation for cruelty either. Alexandria is where I came back to the world thanks to Stanislav and Serena. And her clever protege. Where I caught the midnight train along the coast when my heart's demands became too urgent to ignore. So Stanislav John Schaller, or an orthodox but kind. I served as his assistant in the Great War when he was the exorcist in Ordinary to the Dorsetshire Regiment. He recommended me to the bishop for my skill with subtler work, winning me the appointment as the parish priest in Bankrug. Oh. That's in Book of Hours. Sabrina Blackwood, who was librarian of the Hush House in the days when I served as the priest in Bankrug, but librarian these many years in the Invisible Superior. She helped return me to the world. How do I feel about Stanislav? I wish I'd said goodbye. Perhaps I'll see them again, though the night tells me I never will. Miss him. Bankrug the village, the Bankrug Isle, which sits in a hollow of the Cornish coast like a pupil of the eye. Hush House stands there. A secret library, a hidden hospital, a sanctuary of peace and healing. I was the parish priest of Bankrug for almost 3 years. I didn't exactly lose my faith. Ooh. The lake in Cornwall was famous. When I saw a strange face, it was usually a painter. Rose experience. The name given to seven great libraries of the hidden world, where church and the duties tolerate otherwise forbidden knowledge, perhaps the result of an arrangement with the Watchmen, though that sounds unlikely. So the Church of the Unconquerable Sun acknowledges 4 Horae Canonicae, but its outer rites and doctrines present a humanized, comfortable version of each. The earliest church councils resolved that the inner mysteries of the hours are much too dangerous to be approached directly. They're right, of course, most of all about the mysteries of one particular hour. Oh, the Watchman. Light and sight. Who navigates, who illuminates, who is not compassionate. The uncounted hour who once lit the way for the willing and unwilling. He has been called the door in the eye. Behold, I stand at the door, and though I do not knock, it is here I may be heard. He navigates, he illuminates, he is not compassionate. So uncounted is departed, consumed by the cross, imprisoned and hiding, and still at war with the sun. It's not like you can ring them up to check. Of course, any uncounted hour who isn't dead might return unexpectedly at any time. An hour is the secret gods who lives behind the world, perilous, sublime, merciless, and suppressing competition. Some rose through the ranks of the No and Long and names. Some came by their seat in a different way entirely. So No are mortals who have answered a dream riddle and entered the manses through the stag door and returned. Otherwise, they probably don't count as mortal anymore. Initiation into the ranks of the No once allowed initiates to learn secrets that the hours kept from most mortals. Since the wars, these secrets are often dropped carelessly in the world like coins in a roadside mud. I saw what happened to people who passed that door. Not all of them, but enough of them. So I never really made that attempt. Manzus. The house without walls. The house beyond the world. Which has always been a dwelling place of the hours and the names. Many inhuman spirits, some among the dead, accessible in dreams to sufficiently knowledgeable mortals and to very unlucky ones. But it's not as it was. When I think of the Mansus, I think of the lovely chaos we call the wood. The wood lies outside the walls of the Mansus, as any student of histories knows the Mansus has no walls. Christopher said that. Christopher Illawfully. He was always a little glib, but it does capture something about the wood. The wood has always been a place of Moth and his allied hours. It doesn't have to make sense. So the Long are mortals who gained immortality through devotion to a principle. In service to the hour are called the Long. Most were formerly among the No. Some were never mortal. Possibly some were never mortal. Few remain. Those with dead or uncounted patron hours are now remortals. I found something romantic in the notion of edgelong, each dyad of two dearest enemies, each contending eternally down the ages of the world. But I never loved or hated anyone near half enough. I like that, even though it's different than the lantern choice that I have ahead of me. Cross. The carapace cross is gone, into earth, into flesh and the troubling kinds, beyond wave and sky. They are very few now underneath the earth, and the cross and flesh are us, some of us, at least. The hybridity of which we've called the carapace cross was gone, long and far. Their nature survived only in the bloodlines and perhaps in the darkness beyond the sky. But since the wars, everything's changed. It's inevitable. So, Serena Blackwood. It's the name of the renowned English writer of ghost stories, the title of scurrilously entertaining Scottish literary magazine, and as Serena Blackwood, a widely accused occult alias. Serena Blackwood is, of course, also the name of a former librarian who's been good to me. Coincidences cluster wherever the invisible arts are practiced. It's unlikely that any of these facts are related. Diplomatic. Serena Blackwood surely can't be her original name, but I never asked. I didn't want to reopen any old wounds. Okay. Invisible Serapeum. One of the 7 great libraries of the Watchman's Tree. Where? It's in Alexandria. It's even harder to find than it sounds, but I managed it. Who? Serena Blackwood serves as its librarian. Duties, the mortal and immortal institutions like the Bureau that, from time to time, immemorial, kept hidden from the world, intruding into the everyday. All seems a bit pointless now, really. The Suppression Bureau, an organization founded in service to the duties. The Bureau recruited me when I lived in London and then after when I left Elysian. Both times it ended badly, for both sides. My superiors liked my work, but they never liked the time I spent at the Dices Club. On nights of the new moon, sometimes I found myself back at the Ecdysis Club. Behind the crimson curtain in the Incarnadine, dancers drifting like kelp beneath the slow waves of smoke. It was like looking for inspiration that evening. I sought it in the room behind the red baize door, where they took off much more than their clothes, and for weeks my dreams were wrong. So my heart urges me to find her soon. Since I came back to the world, I've learned to listen to my heart. Grail. Until you find her, the why is less important than the where. So, step in here. An optimist would say Europe's still healing. Others would say Europe's taking its time to die. Experience is aspectful. All conquest occurs at the edge. One who dwelt there was blind, another was strong, a third always tried not to talk about it. Edge is the principle of battle and struggle. Current alias, Mr. Spencer Hobson. Mr. Hobson? Okay. Exorcist. Ranks: Captain, Dorsetshire Regiment, demobilized, Detective Ostiary, Suppression Bureau, dismissed. The Watchman's vigilance is evoked to reveal, command, or expel troublesome spirits. Drag this to one of your active item slots. Using this item to help with a successful skill check will exhaust it. A bulky quarter-crossed ornament, sometimes worn by ordained priests of the Church of the Unconquered Sun. Drag this to one of your active item slots. This gives me dignity and illumination. Okay. Only the best one applies. Some items are cumbersome, dangerous, or embarrassing and apply negative modifiers to skill checks. The good news is that because the best modifier always applies, any bonus will cancel out any number of penalties. So if an item gives a negative modifier to a skill, any positive modifier will counteract all negatives. Interesting. Okay. Spencer was never really an adept, and the worms took much of his ability from him, but he can prepare tools to achieve a variety of supernatural effects in dialogue. As his unworldly skills increase, he'll be able to create more powerful tools. What the fresh hell is... Winter memory? Bankrupt was over here. Career. Ooh. Character inventory. Okay. Resources. This envelope is heavily creased. I stuffed it down behind the seat cushion to ensure its contents weren't stolen while I napped. Bulky manila envelope. Time to open it. 2 passports. Neither qualifies me as a citizen of the French state. My British passport in the name of Spencer Hobson is valid, though the place of birth is false. While my pre-war's French passport in the name of Sylvain Hossier gives my place of birth accurately, but the France that has issued it no longer exists, and the passport is long invalid. Traveling funds, mostly Darlinus francs, but a few in corporate dollars. And a packet of Bonanza cigarettes. The dollars will be accepted everywhere in Western Europe. Cigarettes everywhere there's a black market. Single Ministries, Dolia. And a razor blade. Useful things, razor blades. Interesting. Maybe I can dry off in this bookshop. Hold Z to highlight everything interactable. Unbutton my coat. I'm no longer snug. Sturdy, nutritious literature layers glowingly beneath a light topping of bright-colored novels about people falling in things, falling off things, or inventing cocktail mixing pianos. So there's some magazines. The bookseller raises her gaze from the newspaper. He looks me up, then down, then up with careful interest. Good afternoon. You're looking for something? Just looking. Well, if there's something you want, I'm here. Smile. What's over here? The memory that does not die. Near one shelf in the corner of the shop, the crackling of the rain is less audible. Even my footsteps are softer. Sign on the shelf reads, silence. Examine the books. You found my graveyard. Every book there was written by someone alive when the war began, dead when it ended. Above all, a priest. Run finger over a slim religious treaty. Aquinas and optics and temperance. A distant memory stirs. St. Stephen's Eve, Paris, 1907. Interesting. Not for sale. That's annoying. The management regrets any inconvenience. Acted with passion, anger. For a practicer of hushery or illumination, this place is an opportunity. Ooh. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here. Illumination, hushery. Oh. Glory is a question, and the moth always answers. Use a lantern influence to subvert 2 moth influences into a lantern memory. Influence lantern. Okay. Catalyst. Lantern. This recipe will not consume it. Subvert. Nothing suitable. Fill every slot. Oh, I need 2 moth influences. Okay. So this invalid passport. My place of birth is given as Paris. That much is true as far as I know, but it's not a name I often use. It can be convenient to travel as a Frenchman, but I can't legally be a citizen of both Britain and France. So the passport is a forgery, and the Republic has issued new ones anyway, leaving it invalid. Everything has changed since the wars. Nyctodromy? My place of birth is given as Cairsham in England. It's a real passport, but the government changed the laws and it might not be valid much longer. Let's get dignity. Why is that crossed off? Illumination. Oh, because that has... Okay. Okay. Memory. Influence Grail. Memory Scar. Interesting. Interesting. Dolia. The official ministry's currency. More than that, the currency of the Great Exchange, the mutual bank guaranteed by the stars themselves. Utterly reliable incarnation of the Ikram proudest mutualism. Ontariologically perfect reflection of the value of labor, a means of exchange guaranteed not by gold or by silver, but by the fate synthesis of the shining fellow travelers from outside the sky. Universally accepted in the Soviet sphere, utterly forbidden in the West. Interesting. I had gone from the stinking dankness of the orphanage into the clean, narrow chill of the miners' seminary. Recall my past. I had gone from the stinking dankness of the orphanage to the clean, narrow chill of the miners' seminary. A serious place, but I was 12 years old that winter, and it's difficult to contain 12-year-olds, even those who lack my particular talent. There was a snowball fight on the cobbles. We conducted an operation for the larceny to liberate chestnuts from their cellars. We burnt our fingers, all of us, and afterwards we had a ferrule across the hand. But that part is only punctuation now. The sunset on the snow. Memories are enduring influences. If you want to take influences with you to another city, convert them to memories. Oh. Hold on. Interesting. Papers, resources, memory, influence. Memory scar. Memory. Okay, so the memories are circles. The influences. Interesting. I need something else to support. Okay. I need 2 of them. Interesting. Okay. So I'm trying to hold Z and it doesn't show me everything. So saw this in 37, the year before I went away. The worms gave me what you might call an afternoon off, and I sat in the cinema, watching our heroes cross the border into Switzerland. That's when I started to plan my own escape. Woman bites man, man dies. Man fake death, snake bites woman, woman dies. Man resurrects woman, a love story. So I got another memory. Don't remember much of how it was when the worms were in me. Don't think about worms, don't think about worms. Don't. I'm free now. It's finished. Is it all that bad? So bad, always? I'm free now. It's finished. I don't remember much of how it was when the worms were in me. Pain, poison, the bright face of the ragged sword, the sticky thickness of golden blood. I do remember that I was never lonely. The ones who put the worms in me had joined us to lay waste to Tresigalo, where they thought the city unbuilt would rise, but the worms had people to eat and scores to settle. Interesting. Menus. Oh. Quiet place. Interesting. I think what I'm going to do is we have checked out the very beginning of this demo, and there's obviously still more to check out, so I wonder if we... In this outfit, I'm snug, okay. Do we just keep going? Memory sent. So much for public safety. Oh boy. Beyond a prosaic and ragged edge of Earth, a gulf, blue descending into black. Sniff? Failure. I gained dread. I gained 3 grail experiences. 1 dread. I'm going in easy. Invisible dice is rolled. Technically, it's an invisible token being drawn from an invisible bag. You've gained your first trouble. Fascination, dread, weariness, and pain are rescued, reduced by sleep. If you let a trouble rise high enough, it'll cause problems. Mouse over the icons for your character portrait whenever you want to see how your troubles are affecting you. You gain more experiences from failure than success. This is a wound and a door. Phosphine and Nyctodromy will find its uses here. Okay. do have this. I don't have an influence for that. I do have this. Dread. Fear has its teeth in my hopes. Influence. Okay. Acknowledge necessity. Since the war, night art practitioners rely on assertions of the ministry's dolia. If I won't or can't, I can defiantly acknowledge necessity with a token of base metal backed by the older powers of night and bone. But it will rely on and add to that familiar half-cosmic dread. What is that craft? You created something. A mark of necessity. Interesting. I used one of the dread. I got a memory scent. I also have a tool. This gives me one hushery. Nice. Okay. Why do I need Nyctodromy? I don't. Oh, so that doesn't give me anything. Yeah, I don't need to be holding that. Interesting. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is stop here. We've hit a nice little bright pouch. And we keep going between snug and dripping. Heart's Desire. Are there any other recipes? That was interesting. You are skilled enough for this recipe to pull only with hushery in a quiet place or a shadowed place, or skillosophy in a shadowed place or wounded place. Interesting. So these are all the venues in which we can do these things. Quiet place was the library. Wounded place was the wound in the ground. Interesting. So I guess we'll wrap it there for tonight. If you want to see more of this demo, let me know in the comments. I think I'll continue to play through this demo till the end, and I might pick it up when the game actually comes out. It's not announced yet when this game is going to be fully released, but save. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Ghost. If you want to find me, I'm usually on Blue Sky or Patreon. That's patreon.com/artghosts, ARTGH0STS. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your night. See you later.